everyone, welcome to Minute Meta. I am your host, Darth Edward. We are now 2 weeks into Warzone 2. I think it is now time that we can actually start saying what things are meta, what things are not, now that we've kind of started to figure out how things are working. So with that being said, we're going to go straight into what I think are the top 3 meta loadouts for Warzone 2 currently. These 3 loadouts are going to be for 3 different types of players. One is going to be for the aggressive player, one's going to be for what I like to call the tank, and the third one is going to be for snipers. Let's start off with the aggressive player. So this is going to be the TAQ-56, which I think is the best AR in the game currently, just from an overall standpoint with recon control, damage output, all of that stuff. And then the second gun is going to be the Lachmann sub. So here are the attachments plus all of the tunings for the TAQ-56 that I'm currently using. I am actually using the Sacred Tread 40, which is actual compensator other than a suppressor. I'm not a fan of using suppressors right now in this game. One, because they don't offer as much recoil control, which I think is the most important thing that it comes to, especially for long range weapons. And 2, they also hurt damage range quite a bit. So I am just using a regular compensator instead of a suppressor. The second one is the TAQ recon. If you've seen any sort of builds, you're going to be seeing this a lot. It seems to be right now, we can't know for 100% certain until we actually get some of the data pulled from Sim. Sim is still working on it, so we don't know 100% sure which one, but from right now, from all the testing that I've done and that I've seen other people do, a lot of people agree the TAQ Ripper with this specific tuning or similar tuning to this is the best underbarrel attachment you can use for recoil control. The third attachment that is very important is this 5.56 high velocity ammunition. So a lot of people are going to be running a barrel on a lot of their long range weapons. From what I've seen and some of the things that I've tested, it seems like the 5.56 high velocity rounds or some of the SMGs and other different types of things, the ammunition actually has just as good of recoil control, if not better, because a lot of the barrels actually don't have recoil control in this game. Plus, it adds bullet velocity, which is another major thing that you need in this game to help you. It feels like you're getting better hit regeneration, because a lot of people are saying they feel like they're not getting it. Adding this high velocity round will help you feel that. Plus, it's going to make it a little bit easier to hit targets at long range. Of course, with any of the automatic weapons in Warzone, we're going to have a large mag, so we're using a 60 round mag. And then on this one, I've actually put the Slugger 3.4 just for the website. The optic that you use is kind of going to depend on what you actually want to do. So if you need some help seeing out a little bit further range, especially if you're on 1080, I suggest using the Slugger. But if you have the ability to run 1440 or you don't feel like you need to zoom as far, you can either use this Kazon Hollow. This is actually the one that I prefer using right now, or you can use this SZ Recharge DX. I've also seen a lot of the professionals be using it. It doesn't have quite enough zoom for me. The downside with the Kazon is it actually has a circle around the green dot, so it creates a little bit more visual noise, but I feel like this is the sweet spot for not as much zoom as the Slugger 3.4, which is creating a lot of visual recoil, but at the same time, it does have a little bit more zoom to help track players at range. And the SMG that I am pairing for this is the Lachmann sub. The Lachmann sub, I think, is the perfect mix of a great time to kill while also having a lot of damage in the mag. This is fantastic, especially or if you play a lot of trios and quads. This is the build that I'm currently using with it. I actually am using a barrel for this one in particular because it needs some more damage range compared to some of the other SMGs. A lot of the SMG's first damage range drop off is around 11 or 12. The Lachmann sub is actually only at 8 meters, and so we're wanting to have this damage range with the barrel. We're also using the pineapple with this instead of the TAQ Ripper, mainly because it adds a little bit of hip fire. It depends on what I'm trying to use the SMG for, but because I know a lot of people are going to be hip firing with this weapon, that's why I have the pineapple for this one. And then the laser to add some ADS, the 50 round mag, of course, for that amount of damage that we need for some trios and quads. And then the stockless mod, this adds ADS, this adds movement speed. This is just fantastic for making that SMG really feel like an SMG that a lot of them actually don't because the game is really slow. This helps with that movement speed a lot. And now for the second loadout, this is what I like to call my tanks. These are the people who are looking over all of your teammates, trying to lay down suppressive fire, trying to put out as much damage down range as possible. For the primary long range weapon, I'm suggesting the RPK. This puts out a lot of damage, has a faster reload speed than all of the other LMGs, and also has one of the easiest recoils to control of all the LMGs. And the secondary I'm suggesting for these in particular are going to be the Fennec, which a lot of people are considering considering the best SMG in the game right now. So it has the fastest time to kill of all of the SMGs, and what happens is you're not going to be the one that's right in the middle fighting most of the time, and because of how fast this thing shoots, even with the 45 round mag, it's really hard to fight more than 2 people at one time because you're always not going to be the one right in the middle of everything. This gives you the ability that if it breaks through to the lines, hopefully you're in there just helping clean up things, or you're just trying to finish off that last couple of people in close range, and this is going to give you the ability to do that quickly. For the RPK, again, we're going to be using the Seiken Thread 40 muzzle. I think this is probably the best compensator in the game currently, and these are the tunings that I'm suggesting that you use. Again, the F-TAC Ripper for the underbarrel. Now, what you're probably going to notice is the tunings are slightly different for everything except basically the optics. All the tunings are going to be slightly different depending on what is on each gun. Even if it's the same attachment, the tunings are going to be different for each gun, so make sure you're paying attention to that. For the third, I'm actually using a rear grip, the Demo X2 grip, instead of the stock. From what I tested, I did a little bit of testing in the firing range. It seems like the grip actually has a little bit better of recoil control, plus using the grip you have better ADS than you do using the stock. For the optic, the Crazy Hollow is what I was talking about a while ago. This is probably my favorite optic to use. Give it a try, just see if you kind of like it. If you don't, you can pick one of the other optics if you want to. And for the fifth one, again, like I said, I'm using a lot of the high velocity rounds in all of my long range builds for A, better bullet velocity, and B, it helps with the recoil control tremendously. For the Fennec, I'm using the 1 milliwatt laser, using the Agile Assault 7 stock. This is the stock you're going to see on almost all the SMGs that you see. Every once in a while, you're going to see somebody running the no stock like I am on the Lachmann sub, but this is going to be the main stock that a lot of people use. So for this one, I'm actually using the 45 armor piercing because there actually is not a bullet velocity. It does similar to the same thing. A, it helps with recoil control a lot, and B, it's actually helping with damage range instead of bullet velocity, which you need with some of these SMGs. I personally am using a Chrono Mini Optic on the Fennec. I do not like the iron sights on it. That's why I'm choosing to use this. If you don't like this, you can either choose to put a barrel or a rear grip on it. I would honestly probably choose a rear grip if I were you because the barrel hurts ADS a lot or hurts recoil depending on which one you choose. And then of course the 45 round mag because you need as much ammo as you possibly can with this thing because it chews through it. And now for our third loadout, the sniper. Two things before we get into this. One, I think snipers are still going to be very, very good in this game. Even though there is not the one-shot potential for this, because of how much recoil the LMGs and the ARs have at range, your snipers are still going to be your best bet, especially at that 100, 150 meter plus range to get downs and to hold people out. A sniper glint is still very scary and can be very, very good inside of a good marksman's hands. And number two, hi, Zoomed in Todd here. If you've made this far in the video, that means you've definitely liked the video. So please make sure you drop a like and comment below what A, your favorite gun is, and B, if you're liking Warzone. And number three, make sure you're subscribed. That way you can come back for all of your good Warzone needs. We are trying to cover as much as we can in this game. So this is going to be your one-stop stop for all Warzone meta. We're trying to get into some Warzone news, just everything involved. So thank y'all so much. The SPX is my favorite sniper in the game right now, just with the bullet velocity it offers, with the rechamber speed, with how it just feels amazing to use. It's one of the best feeling snipers in the game. I just absolutely love it. These are the attachments that I'm currently using. So the one thing I want to show you on this screen before I flip back over to the other screen is this is actually the optic I'm using. I don't know why it did not give me the option to pick the optic that I wanted on the other screen, but this is the optic that I am using. Honestly, for snipers, just figure out which one you like. Everyone's going to have a different preference for this. There's not going to be a quote-unquote meta one right now, and especially until they offer us the optic choice that we want, or like the reticle choice that we want. Basically, just find one where you like the reticle and use it for the moment. So for the muzzle, I actually suggest you use the F-TAC Ripper. So I actually do like suppressors, specifically with snipers, because with snipers, they actually offer more bullet velocity and more damage range just with snipers. Don't know why it's just with snipers that are doing this, but so for that reason, I actually am liking suppressors with snipers. The 300 mag high velocity ammunition, of course, we're trying to get as much velocity out of this gun as possible to make it easier to hit shots, especially because you're going to have to hit multiple shots. Third attachment that I'm suggesting is the Max DMR Precision Stock. This is going to get as much sway out of your gun as possible. Again, for the same reason as before, we're trying to be as consistent as possible possible, and we want to get all the gunplay that we can because we are going to have to hit multiple shots to get downs with snipers if they have 3 plates. And the fourth attachment is the ST-87 bolt. This increases your bolt speed. That way you can actually rechamber the gun faster so you can get that second bullet down range faster. Again, because we're going to have to get 2 bullets to down people, this is very, very important. And for the secondary for the sniper, this is actually the best sniper support in the game, in my opinion. It is absolutely dumb how fast this thing kills, especially at medium range. This thing is fun to use once you get a hold of actually using it. For the muzzle, again, the second tread 40. Again, for the underbarrel, the TAQ Ripper. There are both of the tunings for it. Again, the high velocity rounds, you're going to start to see a pattern with these. There's going to be a pattern developed very quickly with a lot of guns with Warzone 2. For the fourth attachment, of course, we're going to have the 50 round drum, trying to again have as much ammo as possible. For this, it's even more important because a lot of times you're going to be using this weapon at close and medium range when you don't have your sniper available because you only have one automatic weapon. And for the fifth one, we're actually going to be using the TAQ-V Cardinal stock. I chose to use this because it adds a little bit more movement speed with the gun, because this is a battle rifle, it's going to feel a little bit slower, but this adds the ability to have a little bit of movement speed. Plus, it has some aim walking steadiness and aim idle steadiness. 2 things that actually help with recoil control. That's another whole concept to get into that I don't even have the time to explain why that helps with recoil control. Just trust me when I tell you that actually helps with your recoil control as well. So these are the tunings for all of those. Thank you so much for watching. Again, if you made it this far in the video, make sure you drop a like and comment what you liked about the video, any way you think we can improve these videos right now. And make sure you drop and subscribe so you can find your way back here for all of your meta needs and your COD needs. Again, thank you so much for watching. Good luck, have fun, and don't die.